Hey, hey! How's it going, everyone? So, I want to do something a little bit different for today's stream. Chris Hansen has a new investigation, and he is catching predators again. And I don't know how long it's been going down. I haven't really looked at how long he's been doing this investigation, but it's been a minute. It's called Takedown, and he uploads a lot on YouTube. He has like their own thing that they do on a website where they upload more episodes for your viewing pleasure with a fee. But a lot of them are free. And one thing that happened on my last live stream is I looked at some live PD footage. And apparently, if you show live PD footage on a live stream or I assume a video, it will get blocked and people won't be able to watch it. So the people who were there for that live stream got to watch the episode, and then shortly after it went public, it got blocked and now people can't watch it. So I'm going to watch another YouTuber who is one of my favorite predator hunters that I've come across, and his name is Skeeter Gene, aka Skeet Hansen, and he does a lot of predator investigations on his own. He has almost 2 million subscribers, and he absolutely kills the game. So I just wanted to sit back, have a good time, do something a little bit different, disconnect a little bit just from going super heavy into the cannabis knowledge, just have a stream where we have a good time, get to shoot the shit, and hey, watch someone take down some monsters. And if this gets him a little bit more attention, hey, that could be a good side effect. But I'm going to get my stuff here so that when you guys start joining and we're starting to have a good time, we can all take a hit together. Should have had this stuff already set up over here. But you know, being a YouTuber, sometimes you're not the most organized person in the world. It just kind of comes with the territory. But we'll talk smoke, we'll talk jokes, we will bust some predators. So, one nut pred that he swears he wasn't going to do anything. Here, let's see if there's some he's posted recently that I haven't seen yet. Swears on the Bible he wasn't going to do it. Members only. I imagine that has some other stuff, like background, behind the scenes type stuff. Good lord, have I just watched all of them? Pred comes to meet a young girl, home alone, meets Santa instead. Let's check it out.
Introducing Remarkable Paper Pro.
It's Christmas, bitch, and you're getting coal under your tree.
With an all-new canvas.
Alright boys, it's your boy Santa Hansen back at it again. This is catch number
Let's
2
fucking go.
of tonight. Tonight we have our boy Tracy, 49 years old, coming from somewhere in...
Imagine being pregnant with a boy, and when he's born, you're like, nah, I'm gonna name him Tracy. You want that kid to get fucking bullied all through school. Goddamn.
He's crossing state lines to come here tonight to meet. He hasn't been too sexual, though.
They censor the age.
It looks like he's...
I think that has to do with YouTube monetization issues.
He wants to come over here and, just chill, hang out, catch a vibe, maybe be a father figure or a big brother figure to this girl. Not too much that we can say, but a very concerning thing in this chat log is that he said that he wanted this girl to send a video of her playing with herself to prove that she's an adult. He's still stuck on the fact that she might be, but he's been told like 5 times. But anyway, we're gonna see what our boy Tracy is all about in just a minute here. So let's get our Santa suit all strapped up again. Did think I was gonna have to put another one on the naughty list tonight, but duty calls.
So one thing in these investigations, this always fucking happens. They confirm the age. They have a conversation about the age. They acknowledge the age. They get excited about the age. And then when they show up to the fucking house, this bothers me so much. They show up to the fucking house in full chest are like, I didn't know, I thought she was 18, 19. And it's like, you're 52. Even if they were 18, 19, which is legal, why are you fucking doing that? You know? If I'm like 52 and I want to pick up someone younger, I would think that I'd go for someone in their 40s, maybe 30s. Why the fuck would I want a college age kid who can't even drink yet? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey.
What are you doing?
This laundry.
Oh.
You gotta understand, you got me kind of nervous a little bit, that's all.
What? Why?
Well, because of the age.
So?
You know, I don't want it to be a setup.
Why would it be a setup?
I always wonder, I don't think he's come out and talked about this, and if he has, I haven't seen it, but I don't know if the decoy that they use is like a professional actor, a student actor, or if it's just one of his friends that's like, yeah, I'll help you with the investigations.
I don't know. I just worried about that.
Oh.
That's all.
Do you not trust me?
What are you worried about, bro?
Um,
You worried about going to
I
jail?
know you. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No? I
No.
really wanted to hang out.
Okay. I mean, I want you to. I don't know. I'm a nervous person, I guess.
Oh.
Especially when it comes to that.
How far?
And another thing, too, a common fucking theme with these Predator investigations is they always fucking pussyfoot. And I can never tell if it's just because they have fucking Riz and are just so fucking Ohio that they can't do it. They can't fucking... They just can't interact with women, and they're one of those people who just grows up scared of women for their entire life. But the fact that some of these people have kids, you have to think that the reason that they're nervous is because they know that if they show up to the house, they're likely to go to prison, especially with how many predator hunters there are out today doing God's work. Which I've also thought about setting up my own predator sting operations. I think it could be a lot of fun to get into. Obviously, when it comes to the YouTube thing, if you do it well, you can have a channel that blows up quite a bit, and you can do really good work with it and protect people and get people put away for a long time. And I feel like deep down these guys are trying to act like it's a normal thing, while at the same time understanding that in real life, they're in a lot of fucking trouble.
How far are you?
And it's some kind of like juggling act in their fucking head.
How far are you?
Like an hour, I think.
Okay. Like, do you want to spend the night?
So whatever.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay. Well, if you want to, you can.
Okay.
Okay. I'll send you that address.
Okay.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Are you here? Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me call you. Are you here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll come unlock the door. Well, what kind of car are you in?
I'm in a silver. Oh, I see it.
You see me?
Just standing right here. Yeah.
Hi. You're probably freezing.
Huh?
I said you're probably freezing.
Yeah. A little bit. Nice place.
Oh, thank you. It's my grandma's. You can sit down. Do you want a cupcake?
What?
Do you want a cupcake? You can sit right there. I'll get you one. Do you want chocolate or vanilla?
Are you a lonely man with nothing going on? Why
No.
not learn how to code? DevSlopes is the only coding academy out there that teaches you.
I wish I had an ad blocker.
Okay. That's fine.
Here he
Just
is.
Chill then.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine.
That's good. How was your drive?
Wasn't too bad.
That's good. What were you doing
What was I doing?
before?
I'm gonna take my first hit.
Oh.
Let's see this guy,
Did you
how
have
he
a lot of it?
interacts and everything. They also
Oh,
act super
I'm
nervous
sorry.
to the decoy
It was good.
Oh, okay.
a lot of the time.
Okay. Like, what do you want to do? Well, I got us these, like, if you want to do anything. Like, if that's okay.
Good.
That's all. Do you want to, like, watch a movie or something?
Sure.
Are you sure you don't want a cupcake?
Yeah, sure. I will later.
Okay, I'm gonna get one then. Do you like chocolate or vanilla, though?
Oh, I thought for sure Skeet Hansen was gonna pop out right when she
So you
left
do
for
like
a cupcake.
cupcakes? Oh. They're good. They're mini. What'd you ask for Christmas?
Nothing.
Oh, why? You didn't make a list for Santa?
No.
Oh,
But yeah, you had me really nervous.
why?
I don't know, just
Because
Don't
he's
be
meeting a
nervous.
fucking 14, 13-year-old.
What about it?
well, I mean,
Have you never been with someone my age?
no.
Oh. Well, it's okay.
So, they go to the casino a lot?
No, they had to drop my mom off at the airport, so they just stayed the night there.
Oh, at the casino?
Yeah, in Detroit.
Oh, Detroit has one? Was it a boat?
I don't know what it's called. It's like big though.
Is it cool to sit over here?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's like
Another thing is too, when they talk a lot about have you ever done this before? Is this something you do often? Have you ever met girls online for sex before? They always say, well, 90% of the time they always say no. But I used to believe that when they talk to the decoy, they are more likely to be truthful, right? Which could still possibly be true. Maybe part of the portion is being honest when they say this is their first time. And I think if you get caught, if you're a predator and you get caught on your first time and you go to jail and you do your time for what you did, I think that's a good thing, because then you committed a crime at the same time as no one getting hurt. But after watching so many of these over the years and actually like really thinking about how much these guys lie and who they lie to, they have to be pathological liars to even make this work. And why wouldn't they lie to a fucking decoy? Why wouldn't they lie to a child about this? Because that is another witness to a crime and admission to a victim that you did something, and that's assuming you don't kill everyone as you go through to get rid of what evidence there is, other than the DNA evidence, obviously, which you would have a hard time getting rid of. So, yeah, why wouldn't they lie to the fucking kid? So, I imagine that 99.99% of the guys who are on these shows have done this before, and this is like just one of the times where no one gets hurt and they go to prison.
someone made the naughty list here. How are you?
And another thing to reinforce that is people like have gotten caught in investigations talking to multiple decoys within the same investigation. So if you take that into account, yeah, that's really fucked.
What's your name? You figured what?
And they always figure. They always know it was a setup.
Tracy
They're always
was it?
300 IQ.
Well, nice to meet you, Tracy. Not under such circumstances, obviously. What were we doing here tonight?
Just coming to hang out.
Who were you here to hang out with?
After listening to a lot of these, it's kind of like a broken record. The opening line is always, I knew it was an investigation. I was just coming to hang out, just coming to talk. She's on sites that are dangerous. She shouldn't be talking to older guys. She lured me here. She asked for whatever fucking item I brought. Guarantee you he says a couple of those.
Carly. And how old is Carly?
18?
She's 18? Is that what she told you?
Yeah, she's
you
18.
wanna
She
try
told
again?
me.
That's what the site said.
That's your final answer.
Well, she said, and I told her that we wasn't having no sex anymore.
No, why'd you tell her that?
Because
So
after
she,
I found
so
out
she didn't tell you she was 18.
later, yeah,
Later, she told you. What did she tell you exactly?
that she was almost something like that.
You have to have identification on it.
And Tracy, it looks like is what she told you.
And then she said she was like, oh,
Well, it would be almost.
The scientists and engineers
Lord.
that support the next mission to Mars could be in this class.
Yeah. So,
And here's the thing, if these guys want to fulfill this weird fucking fantasy of going over to someone's house when their parents aren't there and doing the deed with them, doing whatever they want to do with them, it could be perfectly legal. It could be. Well, not perfectly legal because you're trespassing onto someone's house that doesn't know you're there, but it could be almost legal and maybe only catch a trespassing charge if you talk to an 18 to 24-year-old who was home alone, who does live with their parents, because a lot of people into their 20s are living with their parents still, and then you wouldn't be a pedophile. At the very least, you would have that redeemable quality that you were not a pedophile. You just trespassed into someone's house and did the deed with a legal adult.
yeah.
but no, I did. I straight told her that we wouldn't be.
That you wouldn't have sex.
Right, that we wouldn't be doing that, right.
Okay, but nonetheless, you are here to.
That always fucking bothers me too.
Tonight.
I mean, I guess. I mean,
Yes. Well, it's either one or the other, Tracy.
right, but it wasn't to do anything. It was just to hang out.
Just
So
hang
you're here
out.
to hang out tonight. In a general sense. Okay.
Just hang
And
out.
How old are you? 49. So a 49-year-old man hanging out with at 1:11 in the morning to do what was it again that you're here to do? Just watch a movie.
Uh-huh.
And you don't see anything strange about that.
No, I did.
You did.
I did.
Okay. Well, what do you think is strange about that, Tracy?
The age difference.
The age difference. Okay. Being that she's a and you're an adult. So that's the first thing that we have to address there. So you do say you're a lot older than her. You ask her if she's looking for a dad or for a big brother.
Huh? No, more than
So are you looking for like a dad or a
No,
figure,
no,
a big
no.
brother? That wasn't you?
that. That was never said.
Oh, do I have the wrong
Yeah. because that was
chat
never-
log here?
I never said that.
This you never said?
No.
Was it Siri or do you have iPhone or? Do you have iPhone?
No.
Android?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was Alexa.
A what?
Was it Alexa? Oh. Well, I'm just going by what I have here. You say, are you messing with me or are you having sex already? So it looks like you want to know if she was having sex.
Because I thought she was just, with, like, if
She was messing
really
with you.
18, Yeah.
So you thought she was joking around?
Yeah. I mean, because there's so many fakes on this dating site.
Yeah. So tonight you thought, what did you think tonight? Did you think she was joking when she said, or
Yeah.
you
yeah.
thought?
I figured when I got here she'd be 18.
So you figured, okay.
Yeah.
That's not even a good out. There's no good out for this situation. They try all the tricks in the book. There's no good out for this situation. You're a 49-year-old going to meet someone you're trying to claim is 18 And even if they were, that'd be fucking sus as fuck. But they're actually like 13, 14, and you know it. Why? Why is that even an activity that crosses your head?
It looks like that one.
And what I always find funny is that some of these guys, when they get caught up in these pedo stings, they will try to claim that their stuff was hacked. It wasn't actually them talking to the girl. They have no idea about the chat. But you go to a designated spot at a designated time that is super specific, and you just happen to be there, and you happen to know the girl's name. You happen to send pictures that only you would have. It all just happened to happen and you ended up showing up, but it wasn't you.
We're going to be right back with your dose of Predator Pasta, but first, a quick word from today's video sponsor,
Let it
Morgan
ride.
and Morgan. With over 1,000 attorneys operating worldwide, Morgan & Morgan is America's biggest injury law firm. So if you think that size doesn't matter, you might want to rethink that. Thousands of people all across the globe become injured every day. And if this happens to you, your case could be worth millions. And if you become their client, Morgan & Morgan will fight for you to get you the payout that you deserve. And they don't accept any lowball offers. Just in the past few months, Morgan & Morgan saw verdicts of $12 million in Florida, $26 million in Philadelphia, and $6.8 million in New York. Did I also mention that their fee is free unless you win? Starting a claim with Morgan & Morgan couldn't be any easier. You can head on over to forthepeople.com/Skeeter to get started today.
Well, I wanted to see that because...
Yeah, no, we'll get to that in a minute. Just disregard that for just a minute there, Tracy. So she told you, and when you got here, you thought that she was you thought she was actually going to be 18.
Right.
Got it. So why didn't you ask her at any point if, she was joking or anything like that?
I believe I did.
You asked her if she was joking
Yeah, I
about
said
being...
she was just messing with me or what?
Oh, okay. And what did she tell you about that? If she was messing with you? What'd she say?
I don't remember.
Looks like here she said, no, LOL, and I'm a virgin.
They all
And
fucking
that was
have
answering your
amnesia.
question of are you having sex already? She said she's not messing with you, and that she's a virgin. Okay. So
And
she told you she was.
Times that we wouldn't be able to have sex.
Okay.
Clarification,
I see
baby.
that. You say when you were older and have sex and see how it feels, then you will understand. And you say I don't think you're ready for that.
And the way she sounded on the phone, she didn't sound like she was... Yeah.
She sounded more like she was 18. I hear you. And your plan was was it to hang out, be friends with her until she was of age?
I mean, just be friends. I mean,
Just friends, just movie buddies, Netflix pals?
Right.
Okay.
Right now, I mean, I don't have anything, so...
Yeah, so you're...
But-
Okay. So you're a little lonely, and friends with to you sounded okay, like a good idea.
No, it didn't sound like a good idea. But,
Okay.
I mean, I figured that... I don't know. There was no sex, so I was not even thinking about that at all.
You weren't thinking about it, but
sex
you
at all.
mentioned it in the chat.
What about when you said... What about when you said, show me a video of you playing with yourself?
Well,
Then I will think you are
that was
ready.
when I didn't believe she was... Because I was thinking
Okay.
that she was...
That's a big red flag, too, that a lot of these guys run into. They will have this chat and basically just have a conversation with themselves. They're trying to talk themselves into... Like, they mention that it's a bad idea. They know it's a bad idea. They think it's an awful thing that they're doing. They don't get any pictures or videos sent that are sexually explicit. A lot of the times, the decoy doesn't even... like, reciprocate a lot of the conversation. But they still show up to a child who is not interesting, who has nothing in common with an adult, who is not compatible in any way, legally, morally, or otherwise, why do they see all these things and then still go to the house? It always fucking boggles me, man. I will never understand it. It's so fucking crazy. And they all seem to be pretty close to the same person in general. There are obviously, like, wake up in the morning, I got murder on my mind type motherfuckers and, like, sociopath type monsters. And then there's just the guys who are just so dumb, so stupid. And that's most of them. They're like, I have these urges, and obviously I have all these vices that I'm addicted to, and this happens to be one of them. I don't know if they're wired fucked up. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But they're just fucking degenerates who go on with their degeneracy and fucking hurt people. And they're too stupid to not do it.
With me, and
So even though she literally told you.
People tell you a lot of things on the dating sites.
Sure,
so,
I know. Yeah.
You know, I mean, so you never know.
Yeah, you never know. People lie about things, gender, age, all the time. But I mean, I'm just going off what she was telling you here. You know. She told you a few times that she was.
Experience your new PC by Digital Storm.
And after she told you that, you then proceed to ask her for a video for playing with herself.
And that was
What?
That was just.
So a video for playing with herself, video playing with herself. What would that entail?
It would show that she wasn't. And it,
Oh, if she had sent you, like a dirty video is what you were trying to. Is what you're going for? You want her to send you
so I
something?
can see her age, yes.
How are you going to
So
see
would
her
she be
age
nude
through
in this
that?
video, or what exactly were you trying to see in the video?
I was trying to get her age. I was trying to see if she was fucking with me or.
So seeing her play with herself would tell you her age.
I mean, somewhat. Yeah.
Somewhat.
How?
Yeah.
Are you just an expert in the field?
What are you talking about?
How would you know?
No,
That's
I
a
was
new
trying to
one.
figure out her age.
You a
That's
gynecologist, or is that what you were trying to see? I imagine that's what you meant by playing with yourself. Playing.
Well,
We're guys. We know
Right, I
what
was
playing
trying
with
to get
yourself
her
means.
To show her age, pretty much.
To show her age.
Yes.
So rather than asking for an ID of some sort, you ask her to play with herself on camera to find her age.
Again, you can make an ID.
You can kind of just.
Anyway, huh?
That doesn't
Oh no, go with
make
what
any
you said.
sense. What the fuck are you
Fake ID.
talking
Oh,
about?
like a fake ID.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you asked for that, it could have been fake. But if you seen the video of her playing with herself, then you would have known.
You can tell by the age, and if she would have done it, then she probably would have been of age. I mean.
Got it.
So she didn't, and I
Okay.
said that we can't have sex.
So that was a test.
Pretty much. Yes.
Okay, and being
What
that if she
the
sent you
fuck
that,
are you
would
talking
assume she's
about?
of age. And if she didn't send it to you, then that would mean
But she
What?
probably didn't send it to you anyway.
She was not.
not of age.
And
Okay,
that we wouldn't be having sex.
okay, but just coming over and meeting at 1 in the morning is cool. That's fine.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not.
Do you have kids of your own, Tracy?
Yeah.
Okay, how old are they?
They are 32 to
32.
Jesus Christ.
How many do you have?
6.
Wow.
6 fucking kids.
All together. The last guy that was here a few hours ago had 6 kids. That's just wow. You guys are doing numbers out here. Do you have any kids that are around the age of the girl you're here to meet tonight?
Yeah.
How old?
It's not really that. She's like. Not really.
Okay, right around.
And I
So let me ask you this: say your daughter was talking to a 50-year-old man online, and she was home alone, and he comes over to meet her and just watch a movie, and no sex. How would that make you feel?
I don't know. I'd probably be upset, but I'd be
Yeah.
upset with her also for
Okay.
moving this person on. You know.
But regardless, you would be upset.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At who would you be more upset at in that situation?
a little of both. I mean, really. I mean,
Yeah, equal for both.
yeah, 'cause
Okay.
she should know not to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you raise your daughter right.
Not much is up, man. Just kind of hanging out, smoking, watching Predator Hunters. We might move on to something else. People don't really seem to be interested in it, but I personally find it interesting. I kind of wanted to share a little bit of this. If you have a cannabis topic you want to talk about, by all means, we can switch subjects up here, but we might as well see some of this play out. I already took a hit of something, if you want to catch up, my dude. See what's going on here for a couple more minutes. Maybe, I don't know if we're going to get through this whole video, but at least maybe a little bit of this conversation and see what exactly goes on, what exactly his plan was. But what's up with you guys?
To be sensible, right?
Thank you.
So she should know. Okay. Either way, you wouldn't.
What you been doing? What you got going on?
It's kind of funny because, I mean, I've seen this, actually happen. Really.
You seen it happen?
Yeah.
What'd you see exactly?
Exactly.
This, you know?
And I still.
Oh, so you thought this would happen if you came here?
Also, forgive my dirty ass glass piece, my functional art that I have here. Check out my Chill Out OG sticker. I'll see if that's framed well real quick. Chill Out OG sticker. Chill Out OG by Mr. Grow It. Sent me that sticker with the seeds. I think it's pretty fucking sweet.
I don't know why either. If you're just here to watch a movie.
No, I'm saying I don't know why.
I also
Yeah,
have a
I don't
North
know why it's
Atlantic
so
Seed
cheap.
Co. and a
It's a
Cannabis
possibility.
Express 420 sticker on there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wasn't planning on having sex.
Oh, I hear you on that.
And I was just going to be a friend. And
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean, also, it was,
Even after asking why she likes older men, and has she been with an older man already?
that was.
Well, why'd you want to know that if you were? Well, that was after she told you she was for the second time, actually. This is after the second time she told you she was.
Okay, that was still, I mean, that was so way at the beginning. I still did not even.
I mean, it could be in the beginning, Tracy, but it was the second time she told you she was.
Okay, but I still did not believe that she was not. She was on a dating site that you have.
How many times does how many times she has to tell you?
How often do you run the test, the play with yourself, so you can see if it's a growing vagina or...
That's a good fucking question. How often do you do that? Is that your go-to move? Watch him say that he's never done this before.
I usually never had to.
Because you were risking getting or not.
That's what it seemed like.
But
and you said it's either... You wanted the video to see if she was old enough or not, right? That was a huge... It's a 50-50, dog.
Yeah. So if she sent it, then it would have been.
Dating site, you're supposed to prove yourself that you're 18.
But she told you she was...
Yeah, and I...
Okay, if she tells you... Dude, they literally all have the same excuses. Like, some of them don't use some of the other ones, but some of them try to use all of them. And one big plot hole in what he's doing right now is if she were whatever fucking age they're saying, I'm gonna assume it's like 14 or something. If she was 14 and she still went through with the test, then you possess child pornography. That is how that works. What are you talking about? If you have a video of someone doing something sexual and you believe they are underage, or you're under the impression, or you were told, that is, I would argue in court that that is possession of child pornography. Even if you sent a video of someone who was 18 and they didn't know, similar to them meeting up with a decoy and interacting with a fucking 18-year-old college student like Chris Hansen used to, or whatever friend Skeet Hansen here has that does these investigations. You would still have the child pornography on your phone if they went through with that. So that is a huge plot hole, and why the biggest reason I can think of to why that excuse does not work.
I didn't believe her because she was on that dating site. And
she told you a couple times and you requested the video, so you could have... I was just wondering how often you run that test, because if so...
I've never had to.
This is the first time. It's the first time.
First time you've encountered it.
First time ever, guys.
You realize that someone's telling you that they're when you say send me a picture or video of you playing with yourself to prove
I get that.
it,
I get that.
you're
But
requesting.
again, I did not
You just brought up the same point I did.
She told you.
Right.
I'm just letting
Because
you
that
know
shit's
that
fucking actually unhinged.
Right. And
That's a felony offense right
yeah,
there.
and this sucks that this happened, but like I said, on that dating site, you have to verify yourself that you're 18.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I believe that she was not telling the truth when she was saying she was.
What about after, not the second, but the third time that she told you she was? You still.
It doesn't matter how many times. You tell.
Okay.
I mean, it's still, you have to be 18
So-
on that dating site.
So for
How
for
do they ask
you,
to verify yourself?
Showing an ID and everything.
You didn't
So
show your ID to get on that.
no, you asked for a video.
But we just
But-
said you can make a fake ID.
to do on that, yeah, but to be on that, I know, and I was, that's.
Oh, hold on now, Tracy. Let me ask you this: What
None of it really does.
what would she have to do to prove to you that she was the age that she was saying she was?
I mean,
There's got to be something.
I don't know.
Just the video? Is that where it ends?
No,
Is that what would prove to you that she's the age that she's saying she is? I'm just trying to understand your logic here.
no, I got it.
Because me,
I just posted a Seedsman link because I'm affiliated with them, but I just looked at the link itself and only the Seedsman.com part turned blue, and my actual extension did not. So if you guys want to take that link, put the extension in the back, that's actually a referral code that will save you guys money on checkout. So go ahead and do that. I'm also affiliated with AC Infinity, and that's promo code Express420 at checkout. So you can go check those out if you need seeds or if you need equipment. Those are great places to go. But just a quick plug there and acknowledgement that my link may not work properly if you don't type in the extension.
personally, if
There-
someone
there
tells
is
me
no
they're
logic about it.
okay,
I was just thinking that, okay, there's a friend
okay,
I can hang out with, and there'll be a warm place to hang out with,
okay.
because,
Do you not have a warm place?
no, I don't.
Okay, where are you currently living?
In my truck,
In your truck.
yes,
And where did you come from tonight?
Angola,
Angola is where's that?
Angola,
Angola.
Indiana.
You came, so you crossed state borders tonight to come here to watch a movie
No, well, yeah, New York.
and to be warm.
And the fact that they go across states sometimes,
Tracy, that is very hard for me.
that's fucking crazy.
Okay.
That's true.
That they're willing to
Okay.
travel that much
For the last month.
and
When the deal is
say they're just gonna watch a
in my
movie
truck, You know.
And you're
and
telling
then
me
bounce.
would not have done anything with
No.
the tonight.
No,
Okay.
there's no way.
Okay. No way. So you just want a place to stay for the night, and in the morning you would have been out of here.
I probably wouldn't have stayed on there.
Okay, just for a few hours, just to warm
Well,
up.
just to see that they're seeing now that she was.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
probably wouldn't have stayed.
Got it. Got it.
I mean, I never once sat there and was talking about having sex with her. In the
No,
beginning,
I see that.
was
You-
trying to
You
figure out
sort
how
of,
old
yeah,
she
you were
was,
trying to figure out, and you
but
then asked for the video.
yes,
That's a little
yeah,
concerning.
still,
Okay. Okay. And when did you take this picture? Both you in the hat.
I don't know, really not.
The other night. Is this what is this a gang sign that we're doing here?
This?
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering what is that?
I just,
Oh, I couldn't see the rest of your fingers here, so so you're just like peace. Okay. Okay. Deuce. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, Tracy. So you're 49 years old, have 6 kids, living out of a truck, and hanging out with was at 1 in the morning. I mean,
It's quite the life you're living, buddy.
what do we do with you, Terry? Well, where do we go from here? I mean,
Quite the fucking
I'm
life
sorry,
you're
Tracy.
living.
Terry was the other guy that we engaged earlier.
I don't know, I mean, I knew
Um,
he was coming here.
okay.
For sure, but
Okay.
like I said, heck, my feet are still froze right now, so.
Like literally, your feet are just. What do you?
Yeah.
Your feet are cold. You wearing socks? Socks. Okay. You not have heat in your truck, or?
Yeah, but, water pump's going out, so
Gotcha.
it's not really.
So the mother of your children, is it just one? You have one mother to your 6 children? How many are there?
Oh my god.
It is 2, 3.
3.
Maybe more of it's the same 3.
Yeah, it's funny.
3
the
baby
last guy we
mamas.
caught here a few hours ago had
2
3
kids
baby mamas
per.
and 6 kids. You have 3 baby mamas and 6 kids.
Why?
Both their first time.
It was both their first time too.
Why did you?
I would hope so,
down the
Terry.
road?
Why did you park down
What
the
was
road?
the purpose behind that? Because you could have just. If,
Well,
your,
like I
if
said,
your
Park
feet
nice
are
and close.
frozen and you
Like I
probably
said,
want to walk that far.
I seen this happening. I mean, I should have just turned around.
You were just trying to be careful.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you.
should've turned around and-
Yeah,
Makes sense.
no, I hear you, Tracy. So what would the 3 mothers of your children think about this?
There's some extreme weather going outside. I'm gonna go see what's going on. Oh shit, I slapped the mic right in the face. I'm gonna go see what's going on, and I'm also gonna let my dog out. I will be right back. I guess it's just really windy out because, man, I don't know. It sounded like fucking hail was hitting my house. Something catastrophic was going down. Who knows? But, alright, we got to watch Predator Sting. He spit out some shitty excuses. We got to meet.
You know that I wouldn't have been doing anything.
Okay.
So,
But what would they think about you just coming and meeting a
If you want.
We got to meet a father who thinks it's okay to meet a child for intercourse on the internet. Wild shit. This is a good idea. Decoy says they're scared of the boogeyman in chat. Pred comes and Decoy shows them in the closet where the boogeyman is. And the Pred opens the door and Skeet comes out dressed in a goofy ass outfit as the boogeyman. I think that would be extremely fun, but when it comes to cannabis news, we talked about fentanyl being in cannabis and the logistics behind that and if it's actually a concern and lethal doses. We went over that last week or 2 weeks ago. I can't really remember, but we went over that and that was an interesting topic to get into. Pigeons dropped a video about 2 guys getting just absolutely murked in a smoke shop. So some sketchy shit has been going down. We watched some drug busts. We talked about cannabis laws going down in the community. Talked about a lot of stuff. I think one thing I need to do more into is cannabis breeding, because I do plan on breeding on this next run, doing one indoor breeding run and an outdoor yield run. And that's going to be a fun project. But when it comes to cannabis breeding, I have very limited knowledge. And going into it, I think I would probably basically feel like I'm just pollen chucking to a certain degree. You know what I mean? Like, I know matching up genetics to try to get what you want and all that stuff, but when it comes to what qualifies as an F1, F2, how to get from one generation to another, if there's certain breeding routes you have to go down, or if it's kind of a free-for-all. Khalifa genetics, backcrossing tips, breeding 101 from the Garden Talk, feminized seeds. I'm not quite to that point yet. The science of breeding cannabis for smell, pheno hunting versus versus chemo hunting. That could be an interesting topic.
Welcome back to the Bioactive Podcast. I'm your host, Dr.
So this is coming from Cannabichem with 11,000 subscribers.
Dr. Riley Kirk, and today's episode is with Twinkle Periani from Abstracts Tech. Twinkle has been on the podcast before, but she's back to discuss the research that her and the rest of the team at Abstracts just published that digs into pheno hunting for unique smells. So a quick intro into pheno hunting before Twinkle gives all of the fun details. Pheno refers to the phenotype of the plant, which are the observable traits, which is different than a genotype, which is used to describe the genetics of the plant and the things that we can't necessarily see. So picture yourself next to a cannabis plant. The size of the plant, the color, the width of the leaves, and the smell of the nugs. These are phenotypic traits of the plant. So when cannabis breeders are pheno hunting, they are breeding plants, growing seeds, and looking for cool looking and smelling plants. In this paper, Abstracts notes that when we are pheno hunting for smell, maybe a more accurate word would be chemo hunting, because each unique smell or aroma that we take in is from a unique concoction of molecules. Typically, when we think about the smelly molecules in cannabis, our brains might go right to terpenes, which are highly abundant in cannabis and do significantly contribute to the smell of that specific variety. However, as Twinkle describes in this episode, terpenes are more of a base smell that we smell from cannabis, and flavorants are what really makes exotic cannabis varieties unique. Both flavorants and terpenes are small aromatic compounds.
Terpenoids,
the main
flavonoids.
difference between flavorants and terpenes is really what makes them up, or the building blocks that are used to build them. Terpenes are smelly molecules made of a 5-carbon building block called an isoprene unit. Enzymes in the plant then take these isoprene units, combine them, and fold them in different ways to produce the different terpenes. Flavorants are also smelly molecules, but they are not made from these isoprene units. They're made from different building blocks in the plant. Okay, I'm going to let Twinkle take it from here, but if you want to read a recent article that I wrote for Fat Nugs magazine about using cannabis for your pets, that is going to be linked in the show notes. I also just got back from California. What an amazing trip. I'll be uploading a video on YouTube next Friday of a tour of an indoor grow facility at Cadre Cannabis. They grow some of the most beautiful and smoothest smoking herb, so I'm really excited to show you the intricate ins and outs of the facility. They're also amazing people that own and operate the company, so I really want to put that on display as well. Emerald Cup was amazing.
Okay, so this
I
is
love
just a
hanging out with people in the
really
cannabis
like
industry, and
long
thank you
intro
so much
to a
my friend Dee
podcast,
or
essentially.
Diana, who showed me around Cali, and I already can't wait to come back. So anyway, make sure you have some water nearby while you listen, unclench your jaw, roll up, and relax for the next hour or so.
Cobra Candy Shop on the violin, pretty fucking sick. I think it sounded like Candy Shop by 50
back
Cent.
To the Bioactive Podcast. We have Twinkle on for the second time, and I'm so excited. So, Twinkle, you are a scientist at Abstracts Tech. If you wouldn't mind telling us a little more background, and I know you already have because you've been here before, but just reiterate for anyone who hasn't listened what you do at Abstract.
I didn't realize this was a podcast, and I don't really like the idea of doing react content to a podcast. I know I've done it before, but I like the video format a little bit more, where it's kind of a not really a conversation, but me directly appointing one. I don't know. It just feels weird, man. It just feels weird. So let's see if we can find a video about it instead of a super long form podcast. Not that there's anything wrong with that. You guys should probably go check it out. It seems like she does a lot of work, does good interviews, knows a lot about the space. 3 main quality indicators for a strain.
Hey,
this might be more what we're going for. This is Khalifa Genetics, almost 20,000 subscribers.
Genetics, and what we're going to go over today is how to assess the quality of your genetics. Whether you're a breeder and you made your own seeds or you just bought some seeds, you're going to want to know if they're very high quality, if the genetics are good. And this is going to be based on 3 different things that we're going to go over right now. Stay tuned. The first thing that allows you to know whether the seeds that you're working with are high quality is germination. Because it doesn't matter how good the genetics are if the seeds don't sprout. That makes sense. So there's different reasons why sometimes the seeds do not sprout. It could be because of poor storage conditions. If the seeds were stored in a humid environment, their viability would go down very, very quickly. Or if they were stored in a place that was too hot. Seeds can store for a very long time.
Seed germination seems pretty basic. If you are breeding and you want quality genetics, you want those quality, or you want the reliability of the genetic actually turning into a plant. Basically, when it comes to germination, it can be a lot of storage. If you have them in perfect conditions, they're obviously more likely to sprout. And having a strong germination and fast germination are sought after qualities for growing cannabis. That's a very basic thing, which
optimal conditions.
This is a beginner type video, which I appreciate.
Can remain at the very top, can remain close to 100% for at least 10 years, sometimes 20 years, if they were stored the right way. There's also other reasons. It depends on the genetics as well. So if the breeders did not test their seeds and did not do a good job, then sometimes the seeds will not sprout just because of the genetics, or sometimes it's because of the geographic origin. It's because of where the seeds come from. For instance, with hash plants, the germination is very quick. They sprout very, very quickly. They pop very quickly because they come from a dry place and they don't need a lot of water for them to get the signal that it's time to sprout. So just a little bit of moisture will cause them to pop.
I don't know if he's about to get into the point, but a big question I have is what genetic component exactly? What characteristics am I looking for when it comes to answering the question of, is this plant going to give off strong germination? Is it just that the seed itself germinated quickly? It has that type of genetic quality? Maybe. So should I, as a breeder, be looking for a seed that will pop quickly and using that as strong, like, evidence towards it being a strong candidate for breeding in the future? Or is it something that's unconsequential, that it's one of the things where even if your seed sprouts slow, if you look at other things, it means it could give off strong sprouting offspring? I don't know too much about that side of
On the
things.
other hand, seeds that come from cold and wet environment, like ruderalis seeds, for instance, will need a cold treatment or will need to be nicked in order for them to sprout. And we made a video about that as well. But that doesn't mean that the germination rate is bad. It's just that you have to implement new methods. You have to do it differently in order to help the seeds sprout faster. That's about it. Number 2, uniformity. And this one is extremely important, whether you're a commercial grower or a breeder. There's only 2 ways to get a strain to be uniform. Either you create an IBL or inbred line, also known as a true breeding strain, or a true F1, which is the result of a cross between 2 IBLs. And we're gonna see why and how it works. This is a cross between 2 IBLs.
Okay, so what he just described, I'm trying to dissect it in my head. IBL, interbred line, means that, let's just use my strain that I'm trying to come up with for an example. He talks about, to get to a true F1, I would have to breed wedding cake and peanut butter bread together and get my mock F1 or first generation of seeds, and then breed 2 of those together, and then that's my true F1? Is that what's going on? What's up, Danktep? Shout out to England. I'll take a hit to that. You smoking this morning, Dank Tech? We were checking out some predator stings, but the people didn't seem super interested in that. So I'll probably take a couple clips, see if I can get into like a different audience that might enjoy a little bit more of my side interests, or maybe I'll start up a new channel that's completely like a different thing, but that's neither here nor there, because now we're going on to cannabis breeding and we're looking into some of that, seeing if I can get a little bit more information, get my toes in the water. I know very like surface level information when it comes to breeding. Got your own strain, Cali Mist, crossed with Haze, crossed with NL5 in a spliff. Good stuff, man. I'm not a fan of mixing cannabis with tobacco, though, personally, but you do you.
Alright, so there's usually, almost all the time, not always, almost all the time, 2 alleles per gene. The alleles are the versions of a gene. Let's say I have a gene that codes for green leaves, and that codes for the color of the leaves. And within this gene, I've got 2 alleles. I've got a black one and a green one. Let's say I have 2 different.
I feel like I'm hearing things.
Different expressions. Well, if I have a black allele, an allele that codes for black leaves, and an allele that...
Good stuff, man. As far as I understand, a spliff is a joint that has marijuana mixed with tobacco. That's originally where, at least in America, that's where that slang term comes from and describes. But pure flower, that's what I do. That's all it needs to be in my book. You're good, man. Up until... God, it was probably like... I was 20. I believe that they just called a regular joint a spliff in England or in Europe. I thought that's what it was. And then I learned that, at least in America, it was a slang term. And then I kind of realized that it's super popular, or found out rather, that it's super popular in Europe to do that kind of thing where you mix it with tobacco instead of just smoking pure flower. So that was a weird evolution to go over, especially with my relationship with tobacco in general.
That codes for green leaves, then we know that this is not an IBL.
That's funny.
At least not for that trait. It does not breed true for the color of the leaves. But if I have a plant which has a gene coding for the color of the leaves, and these genes contain 2 alleles which code for green leaves, then we know for a fact that all the plants among the offspring will have green leaves. Here's another example with a Punnett square. We made a Punnett square of a cross between 2 IBLs. Like we said, IBLs have similar alleles for the same genes. So this is just an example for the gene that codes for the color of the stems. This is green and this is red. So we have an IBL, a plant that breeds true for green stems, and here we have a plant that breeds true for red stems. When the R is a capital letter, it means that it's dominant. It's a dominant allele, and this is recessive. Dominant
taking
means
us
that
back
it
to
will
5th grade
express
biology,
itself.
baby.
It will dominate over the other recessive allele, which means that we'll be able to observe a red stem when crossing it with a plant which is recessive for green stems, which has recessive alleles for the green color of the stems. So here's a cross. We have this IBL, which codes for red stems, and this one green stems. And by crossing these two, there's only one possible combination. It's big R and little r. No matter what you do, when you cross a plant with another one, you're going to pass on one of these 2 alleles. And here, the same thing will happen. This parent will pass on one of its 2 alleles, coding for the color of the stem. So there's only one possible combination when you cross 2 different IBLs. And it's always going to be the same. Here is big R, little r. Here is little r, big R. Here is big R, little r, and little r, big R. So we know that among the offspring, all the plants will have the same alleles. It will have one big R and one little r, which means that because the big R is dominant, all the plants among the offspring will have red stems. And this is what we call good quality breeding, high quality breeding. It's because by taking the time to stabilize the parents until they become IBLs, then when you use 2 different IBLs and cross them together, you'll have a very high degree of uniformity among the offspring. And this is how it works. So there's only 2 very good quality genetics, very good quality seeds that a seed bank or a breeder can come up with. It's either an IBL, which will be a little less vigorous but extremely uniform, or a true F1, resulting of a cross between 2 IBLs, or 2 true breeding strains. Number 3.
Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense. You have to start with strong genetics to get strong offspring. But the thing that was clarified a little bit more to me when he said that was, it doesn't have to be breeding, creating an inbred strain to get a true F1. You have to have an inbred line strain that is stabilized with specific genetics to then make something that is going to work for you. So basically, start with strong genetics, get strong genetics is the basic point to that. But that makes a lot of sense, and I think that the average breeder and cannabis grower alike should not have like super big trouble getting strong genetics from a reputable seed bank.
The third indicator of quality is sexual stability. And a lot of people, a lot of growers get it confused. When they talk about stability, they only talk about sexual stability. But it can be genetic stability, like we saw before. A variety that's genetically stable is an IBL, which will breed true for certain traits, a certain set of traits. And the second form of stability is sexual stability, and it's also a very important indicator of quality. All right, so this is hermaphroditism. If a variety will produce nanners
Hermaphroditism,
or ball
baby.
sac, if a female will produce nanners or ball sac, of course, it will be a big problem because you can end up with a lot of seeds. You can end up with seeded buds, and you cannot use that plant for breeding unless you're willing to dedicate a lot of time to breed out that trait over the course of many generations. So it's not a good breeding tool at all.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good breeding tool, but here's my thing too. I found it strange that the process of creating feminized genetics is to take a strong female, which I didn't know at the time. I didn't know it had to be a strong, stable female. I do now, but taking that female and turning a like branch or something into a male organism and breeding with itself. But the kicker is that it has to be artificially manipulated to do so. So technically, all feminized seeds are GMOs. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But no, basically, to create feminized seeds that are the most sexually stable plant that you can get, that are really good for beginners, really good for people who just want to sift through genetics, maybe do a pheno hunt for female traits. It's a really good tool, but you gotta make sure it's not like something that's going to be turning hermaphroditic. You gotta make sure it's sexually stable before you do all the wacky wizard shit.
Sexual stability. How can you know whether a variety, whether a strain is sexually stable? You have to stress test the plants. That's how you know. Most plants were bred outdoors, and outdoors the plants will not harm as easily. Therefore, it's a lot harder to select for sexually stable plants while breeding outdoors, because the life cycle is natural. There's a lot more things that are natural to the plant, so the plant will be under a lot less stress. It'll be a lot better, a lot more pleasant. The environment will be a lot more pleasant for the plants. Therefore, you won't see as many harms as you can see indoors. So when you want to increase sexual stability, you have to do it indoors. You have to stress test the plants, meaning you have to flash the plants, you have to give them sometimes too much nitrogen, you have to harvest them very, very late, let them go past the harvest date, and that's how you know. Then, once you've selected highly sexual, stable females, then you can keep them and you can use them for breeding, but not directly, because it takes more, most of the time, it takes more than one generation to breed out the herm trait. So it's a process that you're going to have to repeat several times. like we saw before with the Punnett Square, when a variety is IPL is great, it'll always breed true for a certain trait. But
okay, so when you're going to breed for seeds, I already know that when you go through with a first breeding run, or when you go through with a breeding run, you have to sit for about 4 weeks past that harvest window. My question is, should I do that before I try to breed and I do a run where I grow the female plant and I let it go beyond its thing, with like beyond its harvest window, without breeding it to see if it will herm? Or do I go about it where I breed a first generation, and then while waiting in that 3 to 4 week window before you can harvest the seeds, after the normal harvest window, would I still be able to determine whether that plant has hermaphroditic traits and be able to throw out that plant that happened to hermaphrodite? Or do I do that run, and as soon as the nanners show up, get rid of that plant and hope that it didn't or doesn't pollinate the rest of my crop and give them hermaphroditic traits and take that risk? It's a lot to balance. It's a lot to consider. It's a lot to navigate through.
But before,
if anyone has any breeding experience or input when it comes to any of my questions, please feel free to answer.
to get to that level, you have to line breed. You have to select a plant that has the traits that you're after, and then make seeds with these plants. And among the offspring, you repeat the process and you do it over and over again until that strain, that variety breeds true for the traits that you were after.
Hey guys, this is the end of this video, and here is a little Aladdin skunk mother plant. The Aladdin skunk is a pure skunk #1, which has been inbred.
But some strains naturally herm under certain conditions. I don't blame bad genetics. Yeah, sometimes that can be true. But I think what they're looking for in this stress test is what unnatural stressors can I put this under without it showing stress. So then it's less likely to happen when someone is going about it and actually trying something. And if something horrible goes wrong, like the power goes out, they forget to set their timer for a night or two, if they overwater because they're paranoid about underwatering, or underwater because they're paranoid about overwatering a little bit before they dial that in, if they're just starting to learn how to train, what kind of training, what kind of stress would they have to put on this plant for it to turn over? I don't think it's to completely get rid of the tendency all of the time. Now, there are some genetics where you can do that, I believe, but I think what they're mostly doing there is seeing what threshold they can put their plant through before it shows those kind of traits, to ensure that when they send out a seed, if the breeder or if the grower that they're sending it to is a competent grower that only has things go wrong in rare situations, that they will most likely be satisfied with the product. My growing conditions are highly variable, so intersex plants are not ideal for me. I don't think they're really ideal for anyone, but I think it's mostly ensuring that it's unlikely as possible to happen and not to show that it won't happen, because there are just those genetics inside of a lot of plants, or inside of every single plant, where if it undergoes enough stress or it's starting to try to like die or something, that it will try to breed with itself simply to pass on another generation. Like all the plants have that, but how much does it have to go through to get to that point? It can depend on a lot of things, and that's what we're trying to get after. Yep, it's definitely important to do your own work too. For sure. I think that goes without saying. I definitely want to go through and do some stress testing. And other than like light exposure, high stress training, Zaza Genetics, I believe he said he literally burns his plants, takes a lighter or a torch to his plants. I think that could be something interesting to look into. Dry back stress, overwatering stress. If you want to get like super into chemical warfare, you can unleash fungus or bring a fungus infected plant into your garden to see if it will contract that, to see if it will contract bugs heavily, to see if it will deal with these things well. Leave the lights on for a random 48 hours in the flower stage. Increase the temperature to like over 100 degrees, 98 degrees. I hope it goes well for you, man. I hope you can make some pretty cool autogenetics if that's what you're looking for. I hope it turns out well. I hope you get what you're looking for. I hope you are able to go through with some stress testing of your own to make sure your genetics are stable for you. And I hope you're able to share them with your friends and family and hopefully keep those genetics around and make a real impact on the earth that will last much longer than you. I think that's a very positive thing.
Bred over the course of many generations. It's a true IBL, which means that if you make seeds with this, all the plants among the offspring will have a similar terpene profile. They'll have a similar structure, a similar flowering time, a similar effect. And this is a great tool for breeding because it allows you, once you outcross it to another IBL, to create highly uniform and highly vigorous true F1s. And true F1s, if you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but true F1s are the holy grail of cannabis breeding and of breeding in general. If you've liked this video,
I gotta go back and listen to that.
True F1s are the
listen to that one more time.
Grail of
what the
cannabis
hell?
breeding and
Get
of
back up
breeding
here.
in general.
True F1. Always wanted to try Manifesto. They always look so pretty. Yeah, I was looking at some Seedsman seeds last night, and I actually added a bunch of them to my wish list. But Manifesto, I'm trying to remember if I went there for a seed shopping
Inbred
stream.
over
Probably.
the course of many generations. It's a true IBL, which means that if you make seeds with this, all the plants among the offspring will have a similar terpene profile. They'll have a similar structure, a similar flowering time, a similar effect. And this is a great tool for breeding because it allows you, once you outcross it to another IBL, to create highly uniform and highly vigorous true F1s. And true F1s, if you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but true F1s are the holy grail of cannabis breeding and of breeding in general. If you've liked,
So basically, F1s are that first, or true F1s are that first generation that's like stable. So inbred over like maybe a couple generations. So what I would think of as like maybe an F3, I think is what he's trying to communicate and get across. When it comes to the Chill Out OG, I had the F3s. I grew 3 different ones. They all germinated, all 3 seeds, all 3 turned out female. And all 3 had super similar bud structure, slightly different terpene profile, slightly different color profile, but very similar growth structure. They were all extremely bushy. They loved putting out branches, stems, leaves, and everything. They were super hard to keep manicured, but took to a trellis really well, dealt with the lights extremely well, dealt with the stressors of the environment that they were in, low humidity, high temperature. Still turned out really well. Smelled really good. Effect is really awesome. Did not herm on me. I had no seeds in my stuff. fantastic, fantastic run from my first real, like, this is the most I know about a breeding project and how much has gone into it. Like when you buy seeds online, let's say you buy a green crack, you don't know who bred that seed. You don't know what generation it is unless they disclose it, which most of the time they don't. You know basic things like the flower time, the flavor profile, maybe what the distant descendants were, but you don't know how many times it was inbred from F green crack generations. You don't know if they're going through this guy's process and saying, oh, it's a true F1, or if they're just sending you an F1, or if they're sending you something like an F3 to 5. You just know it's feminized. You know what they call they call it a green crack, so it's probably green crack or something similar to the original green crack, and that's all you really know. But most are their own rendition, and fucking Seedsman Seeds, I was just looking at their website last night. They don't have a wedding cake. I looked it up. They don't hold the wedding cake, and they don't hold the wedding cake that I was looking for. But they do have something called a witch's cake, which is their own, like, rendition, their own edition of the wedding cake, is how they describe it. It's got the same parents, do-si-dos, cherry pie, cross them together, but it's their own unique take on it. So maybe it has a different flavor profile. Maybe it is more consistent. Maybe it has a different growth structure. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of things that could go into it. It's just their own rendition of that cross that they had a vision for and came up with a different name to it. And I feel like a lot of sites or a lot of breeders will take the parents, make their own rendition of something, and not disclose that it's different. So I really like that about Seedsman Seeds, that I actually had to go out of my way to find something that looked good, that turned out to be something that I am exactly looking for. So I might try Seedsman Seeds. I might try their witch's cake and use that. Well, actually, I think it's feminized, so I don't want to use feminized seeds. But I don't want to use feminized seeds to breed. I don't know what comes with that. I haven't looked into it. But I do plan on getting the strain. I put it on my wish list. I think it sounds like something really cool to grow. See if it's something that I would want to look out for in the future. Did you see the Pigeons 420 video about another low-key scamming by using the same pics for different strains? Yeah, I actually commented under that video. So we can actually pull it up for people who have not seen it. I think it's a very positive thing to put out there. That people basically know that this type of thing is going on. So let's get into this. So my comment under here, let's just get into that real quick. See if I can find it here. Okay, here it is. I found a few websites that have customer picture reviews. I think that is optimal, which I honestly do. If you are going to have these, like, you're selling genetics websites, I would like to see the pictures of the strain that people are actually getting in the mail. Joe Campbell, hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you got something packed in your bowl to smoke. I've seen people use the exact same picture on multiple different genetics on some, and it drives me nuts. And I didn't see his reply yet. I like this idea too. Create some involvement from the community too. Giving their input on the strain that they ordered in the mail that was under that name. Being able to put that in the comment section or review section of a website is, in my opinion, it's like using silica. I believe it's essential, but it's not seen as that by the broad environment of people. Stream when I logged in. Currently 1 week of flower from Khalifa Genetics. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you're having a good experience with them.
Square One. He literally runs the Square One Genetics. Hell of a breeder. Great dude. Invited him on the show. Doesn't like doing podcasts. But dating back to February 9th, Titan posted this on his X. And he's actually posting the same thing on his Instagram too. Lit Farms removed the leaves and just called it a different strain. What is he referring to? Well, if you were to do some investigative journalism here or some investigating, you would notice that these two buds are exactly the same.
100%
but
the
it's
same.
been manipulated to look like two different genetics. He says using the same flower as two different strains? Lol. Trimmed up the leaves and called it a different strain. Before I get too far into this, what's your opinion about taking photos of genetics and posting them as something else? I'm curious what you
I think
guys
it's
of it.
horrendous.
Titan is quite convinced that this is deception.
And
This is
lazy.
Lit Farms. He's not done there. Umami Seeds, taking a picture of Nana Glue, posted it in our Discord, and called it their own. What? So here it is right here. Nana Glue, grown by, and I'm gone. And then they have Biz Quick, this
This is fucking
$200
diabolical.
genetic. It's the exact same photo on the left on their website for $200. It doesn't end there, guys. It doesn't end there. Umami, more. Got rid of the Stolen Biz Quick photo, and replaced it with one that has clear thrip damage. So I guess after getting a little bit of heat, they decided to change the photo and put a photo up of clear thrips damage. There it is, right there, damage. It's like, oh my god, you guys aren't doing yourselves any good. It doesn't end there. Doesn't end there. He posts again. Umami Seeds. He actually called them out. Do you think Umami grows their own seeds? He put a poll to his audience. 79% of people said no. And he asked, do you even grow your own seeds? It was seen 2 hours ago and no results. This to me is a little crazy.
They could just fucking
but
lie.
Does it show blatant deception?
If they wanted
I
to.
guess that's where the jury's still out. Are these people
What's up, Chuck
lazy?
Bailey?
Are
Good
they
to see
trying
ya.
to pull a fast one over their customers' eyes? What is it? What is it? I'm kind of curious to know. It would be one thing. Let's say, for example, you released 10 new genetics and you listed all these genetics on your website, and temporarily you just put one genetic picture for each and every single one. Sure, that would be somewhat understandable. But why would you flip the image or rotate the image to make...
Here's the thing. I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think, in my opinion, if you are growing a plant and you want people to have a good representation of what it's going to be, and you want to stand tall and say with your full chest, I created something and here it is, and I want the world to enjoy it. I don't think it's appropriate to list something with an invalid picture. I would rather buy genetics that don't have a picture display than buy from a genetic company that is using the same photo for 5 different genetics. I don't know if I'm in the wrong. If anyone has an argument against that, I would love to hear it and get a different perspective on it. But the blatant fact is, if you are going to put something out there for people to buy, do your due diligence, uptake the responsibility to at least give an accurate representation of what someone could expect from that genetic. Because there are genetic variabilities, which is why I like the idea of picture customer reviews. However, if you just take one photo, that is extremely lazy, in my opinion.
Make it look different. This is what he's saying. He says, why do 3 different cultivars have the same photo? He says it gets worse. It's the same photo. 4 more genetics. And it kind of makes you wonder, are they hiding something? Or are they lazy? This was DNA genetics. DNA genetics for this next one. And then surely there's another one. This is the one where he calls him out for Lit Farms. Surely this is happening multiple times is not an accident. For those that don't know, Gilberto is the photographer for Lit. He challenged me to find another example, so of course, I obliged. Lit Farms OGF2. cross with permanent marker. It seems as if he found another one. And then he calls out the photographer. The photographer says, yeah, I took these photos before and after. Quick trim, and it's the same strain. I'm sure whoever posted on the lit page made a mistake labeling, or could have been a name change mix up in folders. Who knows, but I don't think it's a huge conspiracy. Titan says, nah, bro. You guys are doing this with multiple strains. You and Ray are...
I don't get that either. Because why wouldn't you... Sometimes, when I post a photo of a genetic on X, right? I don't know what strain it is. Sometimes. Every once in a while. Like, if I am... Like, the Chill Out OGs, for an example. They're a good example for this. I grew 3 different ones that looked very similar. I would take a picture, and I'd be like, oh, Chill Out OG, F3, pheno number fucking 2. And maybe that picture was a pheno number 1. Does it really fucking matter? No. But the reason it doesn't matter is because I have 3 of them. They're extremely similar. But also, I'm not selling you guys a product. I am showing you guys what I am doing. I'm showing you guys the plants I am growing. And whether or not I get the pheno number right, which exact seed it was, does not matter because there is no financial consequence to anyone else. I can be like... I could go back and correct that if I wanted to, or I could leave it up and it doesn't really make a difference. But the difference here is that you're using the same picture of a genetic for multiple different things. Maybe in different states of harvest, maybe in different states of grow, but you are blatantly doing that. And it is extremely lazy if it isn't absolutely scamming. And you can look at me and say, as a grower, as a potential customer, you can look at me and be like, well, it doesn't matter. The aesthetics of the plant don't matter. Just read the profile. And sure, buyer beware type thing. But to some people, it does matter what the aesthetics are. And if you use a purple plant to sell a plant that is green, that is false advertising. I would almost say that's a scam simply because of how much the stigma of purple in this very specific example, people see that as a quality marker, and if they can't get that genetic or expression out of that genetic that you sell them after showing them a picture, I would almost argue that that's a scam. I would be very, very inclined to do that. Now, maybe it's not because there's some kind of loophole in the description where it's like, this has green genetics, but you could say that it has green dominant genetics and argue that it's still possible to stress it into turning purple. So it's not a very good defense unless you're able to go into the DNA coding and be like, this genetic is not there. And then in which case, why the fuck would you use a picture of a plant that's purple for a green plant when you could just take a picture of the plant if you were doing the testing and you know what's going on with the genetic? Take a picture of the genetic. It's very simple, and it pisses me off beyond belief. It's a very stupid rant to go on, and it's very stupid that I have to talk about it. Buck. Is it bad genetics or bad IT guy? It's not bad genetics, because they could be quality genetics all around, and that's what's even more stupid. But why would you not give the IT guy properly labeled, especially if he's not involved in the cannabis space but is involved in a cannabis business, whether he is like whether he's like a freelancer, a contract worker, whatever, give him properly named files so he can put the right strain on the right picture. That, again, it comes back to being lazy. It just comes back to being lazy. Good morning, Tim Yak. And yeah, this episode so far is completely wild, Dank Tech. It's so fucking wild.
Scamming. You both know people buy seeds based on the photo. Stop playing. Gilberto responds, cool story. Not a story. This is a picture book. Then share another chapter. I only see one instance. If you that mad, bro, life's not turning out the way you planned, work harder, quit crying. So there's no real reason or no real
Fucking petty
response
ass
as to
bullshit.
why these breeders are using the exact same photos. It goes on. Ethos Genetics flipped the image and rotated it. This is not a coincidence or an accident. These seed makers are deceiving you. Say
Literally.
something. So this is where it's like, okay, maybe they're not trying to deceive. Maybe it was just an issue. Maybe it was a mistake. But if you look at this photo,
It
we've
happens
got
way
the
too
exact
often
same
for it to be a
plant
mistake.
Curling upwards.
Let's not fuck
and then
with
the exact
ourselves.
Same plant, image rotated, curling down.
I don't think it's dropping the ball either. I really don't. Because if it were dropping the ball, like, we'd have a couple instances of this. But the fact that we have so many different cannabis companies doing this and editing a photo not once, but twice, not changing the genetics, like trimming them not once, but twice, or just blatantly taking the same photo and like just putting it on multiple different genetics multiple times. It's not just someone dropping the ball, because if someone dropping the ball, this would be like, okay, this is an independent guy, he runs this website all by himself, he either made a lapse in judgment or just does not have the time to cater. Like, that could be understandable. But these are big time guys. This is Ethos Genetics, man, that's doing this stuff, literally just deceiving their audience. And it's not pretty, it's not cute, it's not demure, it's not fucking mindful. Not in my 2025. This has been going on way too long, by the way. I've seen this for years. I've seen pictures of the same pictures used on different genetics. Seen it for years on these sites. And if a site does that, I try to avoid them at all costs. I really do, because I don't like it and I don't support the activity. Have I bought from sites that do that? It's possible, because I'm not looking at every single genetic every single time I do. And some of them change just slightly enough to where you wouldn't notice it unless you're really focusing on it. So have I done it? Probably. If I notice it, do I? Absolutely not, because I don't support it. So Ethos Genetics, I thought about buying genetics from them, and until they like come out, talk about this, address it, change it, I don't think I will. That's exactly my point too, because who's to say you're even sending us a do-si-do if I order it? You could just send me a wedding cake because you're running short on do-si-do, but the website said it was in stock, so you have to fulfill your promise to the customer. You don't want to disappoint them. You're under a little bit of pressure. You want this financial gain, and then you also want to get your name out there, so you're like, fuck it, send them out a wedding cake instead of a do-si-do. Let's see if they notice. Bet they fucking won't. No, this do-si-do is not cookie and gassy like. It is vanilla frosting cream cheesy like, or cheesecakey like. And gosh darn it, I like these genetics. I like do-si-do, but it's a wedding cake. And that might not seem like a big thing on the surface, but the slight, small, little deceptions add up to a big problem.
Words. Ethos cookies number 4, and then end.
It's a very slippery slope.
4 line. So 3 genetic photos flipped and rotated. I don't think it's a good look myself. And as a matter of fact, there's another one. This is Happy Valley Genetics, also Ethos, 2 different strains, same picture. Everglades OG, Pineapple Diesel. Yeah, just kind of Cheerios in regards to what the response is going to be. Titan tagged him right here. I can see it. Ethos Genetics. He tagged him in the comments section on the 15th. That was 4 days ago. Surely if this was a mistake, somebody would just say, yeah, sorry about that. We're fucking lazy. We just threw up a bunch of images just to placehold, and then we were going to go back and switch it. I'm curious what you guys think.
And a huge shout out to AC Infinity for sponsoring today's video. If you're
Let
looking
it
for
ride.
some high-tech quality equipment for your tent, check out ACinfinity.com. Whether it's their clip-on fans, the Gen 2s, their air circulation systems, or their lights, check them out at ACinfinity.com. Use promo code PIGEONS420. You're going to save a few dollars off at checkout. You're going to help support the show, and you're going to get yourself some quality equipment. Also, a huge shout out to Seedsman. If you're looking for some quality genetics from a quality place, check out Seedsman. Use promo code PIGEONS420. They're working with some of the best breeders in the game to hook you up with quality genetics. Check them out. Use promo code PIGEONS420. And
I also have a promo code for AC Infinity, Express420. If you want to go over there, plug that in, help support my show, and get yourself some quality equipment. And also Seedsman, I got a referral link that you guys can use. I'll put it in the comment section of the VOD. But this YouTube like chat for some reason cuts off the link, so I cannot put it up right now, but it will be up in the VOD after this goes live.
For sponsoring today's video.
Is this a huge nothing burger, or does it seem like people are legitimately trying to deceive their customers? I'm still out. I think if you had like 1 or 2 examples of this happening, I'd be like, yeah, coincidence, that sucks. Hopefully they can get it figured out. But the fact that you've got 4 different breeders, 4 different websites, 4 different companies, and you still have the same issue. I don't know, guys. And as I said at the top of the show, when I am looking for genetics, heck, when I'm at the restaurant and I'm looking for food, I look at the picture. Right, Mrs. P?
You will not order something if there isn't a picture of it.
I have to be able to see it. I'm not gonna read roasted tomato, chicken, cheese. No, forget about it. You lost me at the roasted part. I just want to see it. And I honestly believe that when it comes to getting your genetics, it's the same thing. I look for the picture. Why wouldn't you? We're talking about strains like unicorn, rainbow, baby shit. It's like, I would like to see what that looks like. I just had a banana jealousy. I loved the fact that I could see what it was before I grew it. I knew what I was getting myself into. So personally, I like pictures. What do you guys think?
Pictures are extremely important. Human beings are very visual creatures. I don't think it's a light thing when you tread into literally deceiving your visual impression. It's a huge thing. It's a big deal. And whether you think it's a big deal or not, it simply just shows how much you understand, like, selling to people. Visual things are very huge. Now, think about it. Human beings, on average, normally don't think logically when it comes to things like buying pretty stuff. Because people will go, like, $50,000 in debt into a car they don't afford. Now you might like look at yourself and think, well, I wouldn't do that, and it's good for you. You wouldn't do that, but a lot of people do. They get dangerously into debt simply so they can have something pretty. Because in my opinion, if you're spending over $15,000-$20,000 on a car, you're going after wants at that point. And it's probably before even that. Like if you're spending over 10 A and B car, as long as you can afford it, you're going after wants, even in that case, and just wanting to put up an impression or make it look like you have money or something like that, so people will perceive you as a more important or higher end person. And I think the genetic companies are doing the exact same thing, because the amount of times I've gotten seeds, I grew them, and the picture shows a plant with giant colorful buds, and I get like these smaller green little like things with a higher leaf percentage than I was shown. It can go back to genetic differences in the phenotype. I'm not saying that every genetic company out there has to have the most stable genetics ever, but I find it a little bit suspicious that the picture said, hey, this is going to give you huge buds that are extremely frosty and whatever, and you get that plant, you grow it in a really proper environment, you take nearly perfect care of it, you grow it to at least face 75% of its genetic potential, and it turns out to be nowhere near what you were looking at online.
This deception,
it's
I
big.
just think the best way to clear this up would be transparency. Just be honest. Be honest. Just say, hey, photos are out. But I would hate to see something like, we ran out of that genetic years ago, but we've been selling it ever since. That's something that I'd be afraid of. That
Yeah.
This nano glue or whatever isn't
Same
actually
here.
what you're ordering. It's not what you're buying. You're getting something entirely different. That's scary to me. That's scary to me because I want what I ordered. I want to smoke what I bought, not this mystery plant. But what do you guys think? That's my opinion. I am curious to see how this plays out because, quite frankly, I honestly could see this going both ways. Either A, they've got an excuse for it, or B, something's fishy. This is going to play out. I'll keep you posted right here. T with P. If you have a comment or you missed something or you want to join in on the conversation and you're not actually here or live, hit me up on X at Pigeons420. You can hit me up. We'll have a conversation. We'll talk. We'll chat. And we'll break this down because I'm curious. But let me just say this. Huge shout out to Titan because it seems as if there are only a very few individuals that are willing to call out bad actors and hold people accountable. For some reason, there's this desire to keep your mouth shut and let people keep making money. I don't understand the ethics in that. Personally, I'll die before I decide to sweep shit under the rug for the benefits of other people. I just don't understand it.
I don't
really
do that
understand
either.
it. So, yeah, I love the fact that Titan's calling people out. I'm glad it's not Rob or I for once. So, yeah, hell yeah. He'll shout out to Square One. Here's hoping he's throwing rocks from a very shaded glass house because that's always the worst. It always seems like those that scream the loudest have the most to hide. I'm just playing. Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows?
That's my opinion. What do you guys think? That's the story.
Yeah, we'll probably never end up knowing the background. I'll keep on this, like, to see if anything actually comes of it, but it doesn't really look like there is going to be a bunch, because for there to be something to look into, we have to have them come out and say one thing or the other. Either we're lazy or we were trying to deceive the seller. Something like that. Or something has to get leaked, some hacker has to get into their shit, and I don't really think that's going to happen. Not in this space. It's very unlikely that that happens. So is my hope high that we get answers? Absolutely not. Will I be there when the answers come about? You're damn right I will be. I will be right here sitting on this workout bench and looking at my laptop screen while talking to you guys. That something big has absolutely happened in the cannabis space. But until then, I guess we're just going to be deceived for a little bit. So I'll get ready for one last rip with you guys, and then we'll absolutely wrap it up. If anyone has any other questions, comments, concerns, points to breeding or the wild, wacky world of cannabis websites, or anything that they're working on at the moment, any genetic expressions you guys look into when you're getting genetics. If the description is detailed, that's one thing, but at the same time, if they're showing a picture, what time do I start my stream on Saturdays? Normally, I try to shoot for like 8:30 to 9 o'clock is normally what I've been starting. And then normally I'll probably run until like 11, but I didn't really have a whole lot I wanted to get into. Again, the first topic, people were really feeling it. I wanted to go into something that was not cannabis related at all. A lot of people joined, a lot of people left. So kind of shuffling that around, but I'll probably stick with cannabis on this channel, maybe try to seek a different audience on a different revenue. And the people who care enough like my content for my personality or whatever, or if they like the other content that I start doing, can go over to the other channel. But yeah, start around 9, 8:30, go for a while. Just hang out, smoke, talk shop, have a good time. Cheers, everybody. Oh, man. But yeah, if the description's good, that's one thing. But if you're going to show a picture of another genetic, I would rather you just not show a picture. If the genetic has a really good description under it and it doesn't have a picture, that could be permissible depending on what Eastern Standard Time. I live in Michigan, so just go based off Michigan time or Midwest time. But yeah, I would still like a picture of a genetic that I'm getting personally. Would love to see how Seedsman markets cultivars on their website. We can look at Seedsman actually. I feel like their their website is designed really well. So up front, you can see Seedsman Mega Mix. So they got that up there. You can buy a variety pack of seed. And then down here, they're new and trending. Got really high quality pictures. They got Perps, Chicken and Waffles, Guava Root GMO, Gorilla Runts. And then you have In Theory, doing G it right. Yeah, in theory they're doing it right. It seems so. I haven't seen any copycat pictures. I haven't seen anything super lazy come from Seedsman. They seem to have a really good website. I still have yet to actually grow their genetics, but you got Great for Beginners, Outdoor, Terpene Rich, Land Race, Best Sellers, Fast Growing, High THC, High CBD, High Yield, Mold Resistant, Medicinal Seeds, and Cheap Seeds. And then you have the trending breeders. Humboldt Seed Co., Anesia, Ethos Genetics, which we discussed Ethos, so maybe they have repeating picture genetics under their stuff. Happy Valley Genetics, Popular Breeders, whatever category you want to get into. Customer reviews, overwhelmingly positive. Germination Promise, they're very confident about their germination. Secured payments, buy with confidence. Customer support. Hopefully their customer support is good, but if we want to go into... Oh, let's go outdoor. Let's see what the best outdoor strains are. Frozen Afghan Mints, that looks really good. Purple Wreck. Apple Crumble, that sounds fucking fire, dude. Pineapple Express. And another thing a lot of websites do, well, some of them, they'll have something, a picture up here for display that doesn't even show cannabis at all. Even a little bit. And I've never been a fan of that either. Hindu Kush, yep. Pineapple Express from Barney Seeds. Tropicana Cookies. Cali Critical Mass. Aliens, Blue Dream Fast, High Clouds, Strawberry Cheesecake Auto, Sirius 6. Couple big names. So far, no pictures have been repeated. Nothing looks even close to the same. Showing a veg plant, that could be pretty much anything. A lot of veg plants look familiar, or similar, rather. But at the same time, I have a veg garden going right now, and a lot of those veg plants look different. But another thing is that you're normally not buying plants for how they look in the veg stage. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. Highland Thai, Kosher Kush, another seed that does not show any display picture that has to do with the actual plant itself. And the reason I point that out, Black Kush looks absolutely fire. The reason I point that out is because personally I am a lot more likely to buy a seed with a display picture. I don't think I've bought many, if any, seeds that don't have a picture. Kind of like Pigeons 420. Mint Jelly Auto sounds fun other than it being an auto. Vanilla Cream Pie sounds absolutely fire. Just a ton of genetics. Blueberry Cupcake. Fucking need. Absolutely. It says it's good for extracts. USA Elite. I don't know what exactly that means. That's why I like dealing with breeders as opposed to seed banks. Yeah, breeders are probably a lot better to deal with directly than seed banks. But then there's the variety thing. A lot of breeders will specialize in like 5 to 15 strains. But when you go onto a seed bank and you can just buy seeds from like a public and higher like variety, I like that about seed banks. Plus, I haven't gotten a lot of genetics that I've been disappointed by seed banks. So I have good experiences with them. I get quality genetics, whatever the hell it is that they're selling me. I put a name on that thing, and that's what I call it, and then go about my growing. See, like, these ones look similar, but the plants are not the same. Like, they have a similar growth structure that they're going for, but the plants look different. Now, this could mean a couple of things. Those plants could be phenos, like different phenos of the same genetic, but I can't personally confirm that. But they all have shorter colas with a single cola shooting up, but these colas are all pretty level. Now, that could have to do with training that they were doing, but I don't like the idea of taking a picture of a trained plant for the genetics. They all have the similar structure. Leaf shape slightly different, but you can see that in different genetics. Frostiness level is different. Color is different. But again, these can all be phenotypical expressions that lead to them being the exact same thing. Strawberry Gorilla Auto, Cherry Cola Auto, and Gorilla Skittles Auto could all be exactly the same cultivar, but different genetics of the same strain. So that's a little bit sus, but that's purely all like speculation, and I'm not trying to claim anything, but it does kind of look like that with all these lined up all in a row like that. A lot of autos take this shape. Okay, I didn't know that about autos. I've seen a lot of different shape autos, but that could also be the case. I'm not an auto guy. I don't look at a lot of them. I don't have a lot of experience with them, so that could be true. It's just, all I'm trying to get across is that it's a little sus and that sometimes it feels like you're walking on eggshells, but by all means, if those are just how autos look, I guess that's just how autos look. Seedsman, image coming. I guarantee you that there's probably not going to be an image for a long time. Whenever I see image coming, I'll visit like months later, and the same strain will have image coming still on the thing. Hopefully Seedsman isn't like that. Hopefully they're a little bit more on top of their stuff and that this is a new listing, but there's no information to actually indicate when that listing was posted. Just a lot of good quality looking strains. Not any actual carbon copy repetition that I've seen. Overall, seems like a positive place to go to get seeds. The prices are pretty decent. Mimosa Punch Auto seems like a really cool one. Zombie Bride sounds really fun.
But yeah, that's a little bit on Seedsman Seeds, and if any of the strains intrigued you, I'm going to again put that link in the comment section below or description section so you guys can go get a deal on seeds, save a little bit, and get your boy a little bit of support for putting on the show. Yeah, that's a fair stance to have, especially since, like, if you're not super picky about what you want, you can go to a breeder and you can get, like, good quality stuff. Mimosa has always been nice smoke for me. I haven't had a lot of experience with Mimosa strains, but it does sound extremely, like, intriguing and something that I would enjoy. But I'll see you guys next time. I'll be dropping 2 videos this week. I'll be dropping on Tuesday and on Thursday at 6 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, like I normally do. Back on schedule. Had a little bit of well, I had a hiccup because I'm putting in overtime at work and starting to work Saturday mornings, and that'll slow me down a little bit. But this week will be a normal scheduled day, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the comment sections of those videos, and I cannot wait to see what we put out this week. But for now, I will see you guys next time. Hope you're getting quality medication this morning, and thank you very much.